and I would like to just present a brief about PFAG and what we do. The organization is mainly an advocacy organization, and we do a lot of engagement on both the traditional and social media by airing our concerns for consideration by policymakers. So PFAG is the apex farmer-based organization in Ghana. When you say apex, what we mean is that it's a combination or a conglomeration of a lot of farmer-based organizations that have come together to form the mother organization called PFAG. Our mandate basically is to advocate for pro-poor policies and other agricultural and trade issues that affect the livelihoods of smallholder farmers. In this context, farmers who are doing 2 acres of land or less. But it must be added that since we were formed, we've had a lot of farmers who have grown from being just smallholder farmers to large farmers. And you can't negate them or exempt them from organizations just because they've grown. So we still have a lot of members who are large farmers, but they still believe in the vision of the organization. We were formed in 2005 with the support from Oxfam. Oxfam is one of the donor organizations in the country. And around 2003 thereabout, there was a conference in Hong Kong, and they needed a farmer rep. So Oxfam sponsored one farmer to go to Hong Kong to be part of that particular program. And then when a farmer came back, he realized that there isn't any strong voice of farmer organizations to speak for farmers. So he was able to mobilize a few people, spoke to farmers, got signatures, and then that's how the organization was birthed. The vision is to ensure that at the end of the day, there's a life of dignity for the peasant farmer. The vision of the organization is to work with others towards the achievement of a conducive environment for agricultural development. And we do that through various means: policy advocacy, capacity building, organizational strengthening, and then building the skills of members. Below are a list of some of the objectives that we try to achieve as an organization: providing a platform to discuss issues on agricultural development, advocate, which is our main claim to fame, provide technical support to our members through training in various areas. Also, we serve as a way of providing information to our members, and then we facilitate access to input and other services for our members. The membership of PFAG currently stands at 1,527 registered farmer-based organizations. So I mentioned that the organization is an apex farmer-based, so it means there are several FBOs under us. So what we have on record per our data is what we have there. In terms of reach, we reach up to 1 million individual farmers. If you look at the breakdown, about 45% of them are female, and over 80% of our members are people who reside in very poor and remote communities. In terms of our structure, we have 13 board members. 5 of them are women, 8 of them are men. And for the board members too, we have a breakdown of the board members. Because the organization is a farmer-based organization, the board members are representatives of farmers from the various regions. For every region, the various districts where our members are, they elect their regional representative at our annual general meetings. So once they elect the person, that person represents the region on the board. So for the farmer side, we have 9 members, 9 farmer members who are parts of the board, and they are strictly farmers and represent their regions, or we call them the regional focal persons. And then the constitution also allows us to bring on board technical people to also advise the organization. So we recruit 4 people to help the farmer members on the board. We operate with focal persons, meaning that for every particular operational area, we have one arrowhead, or we call the focal person, whom we liaise with. So if there are any issues in that particular locality, whether the district or the community, they raise and get back to us, and then we engage with them. We are involved in a variety of projects and campaigns, and that is regularly reported national issues. As I earlier mentioned, if you Google PFAG or peasant farmers, you see a lot of stories as to what we've been doing. So the higher decision level is the annual general meetings. That's where we meet and elect our regional focal persons, and then they form the board of directors. If you descend, because they represent the region, if you go to each region, there are various districts. So for each district, we have district executives, right? And each district have their district focal persons. So that's the next structure. If you go below it, for the district, if you go down, that's when we have the individual farmer-based organizations. And they are made up of maximum 20, 25 farmers in a group for easier administration of the work they do. We do a lot of capacity building on agronomic practices, entrepreneurship, ICT, advocacy. So a lot of our members are involved, or they take part and they have their capacities built. Policy advocacy, that's what we do a lot, where we engage a lot using the media because they try to cascade our issues. ICT, information and knowledge sharing, where we link farmers with opportunities, whether market opportunities or input information, we link our farmers. Monitoring of agric support project by government. And for us, because farmers are the center of every agricultural intervention made by government, we take it upon ourselves to monitor any intervention government does and then give feedback. I spoke about facilitating support to our members, and then one of the key things that we also try to do is to mobilize our membership for an increased voice, because we believe that if the farmers do not have voice for them to be heard, their voices will be drowned and they will not be factored in. How do we do it? There are 3 levels that we also try to consider. We try to, first of all, understand the specific needs of both men and women. So we try as much as possible to bring on board women. Land rights, that's something that we've been pushing a lot. How farmers are losing their lands to either through socio-cultural means or through activities of miners or chiefs or even multinational companies who are taking over lands from people. And luckily for us, we find ourselves on a lot of government-initiated platforms, so that we try to pick on board the concerns of our members and then try to push it for them to consider. And then we also try to engage the private sector just because of the opportunities that we feel our farmers can benefit from. Now, with regards to first food sovereignty, there are 3 main things that we've been able to do. First one, I'll speak less about it because CCOD and FSD spoke eloquently about it. Second one is the campaigning and the promotion of sustainable agric through agroecology. And we did that through research, where before that we had to understand what farmers understand or what farmers comprehend when it comes to sustainable agric. What is their concept of climate change? What forms of agricultural production system do they consider? So based on the feedback, we established an agroecology demonstration farm. The farm should serve as a demonstration center where farmers can go and learn and see how agroecology is being practiced. Because what you realize is that for our farmers, if you don't try to let them visualize what you are preaching, it becomes difficult for them to adopt. So once you visit, your capacity is built. Quite recently, we made some of our farmers go to Kofi Boa. We also had to go and learn first-hand issues on agroecology and then how they can support it. We partnered with the University of Leeds, was to also bring on board scholars. In the near future, they will be the ones running the agricultural space within the country. And we felt it was important for them to have a thinking around issues around food sovereignty are preserved. Agricultural policies, because the focus is on smallholder farmers, what we've been trying to do along the line is to see how all policies of government consider the needs of farmers or smallholder farmers. So, for instance, government is constructing one village, one dam. And if you go and see some of the dams, it's unusable, right? And we need to let them know that what you are putting on for the farmers is not what they need. Also, for instance, the issue on the plant of food and jobs, that initially we were looking at farmers with only 5 acres or more, and we spoke against it. One issue was that we also fought for the inclusion of organic fertilizer, because when the program started, the focus was mainly on inorganic fertilizer. And inorganic, we know, is mostly imported, right? So how do you ensure that there's local participation in the PFG? So even though we are not there yet, we still feel that government listens. Because trust me, they feel very uncomfortable when PFAG makes a statement in the media or anywhere. We try to balance engaging the media and also engaging them. And both approaches work very well. Increased investment in agric, we are seeing little. I spoke about the organic fertilizer that we are able to push in the PFG. Provision of market access to farmers. Currently, we are running the program, or more or less a contract, with Guinness Ghana Limited, where we are providing sorghum for, they use it to process their drinks. So we have a lot of farmers around the upper east, northeast area that produces sorghum and we supply to Guinness. We are looking at further monitoring government policies because there are a lot of gaps. We are looking at campaigning for post-harvest services. We are looking at empowering farmers to have sustainable enterprises in areas that, apart from the main planting season, what should they be doing? Because apparently we have a system where farmers are only productive during the rainy season. During that, they have nothing else to do. So we try to see if you could give them additional livelihoods. Improving agroecology projects and climate change resilience and adaptation. And for this one, we do that a lot with CCOT and then the food sovereignty platform. So the ministry has embraced agroecology to the extent that they have a national desk officer for agroecology. That was something that they would have never done because they felt that once we were doing climate smart agri, that's agroecology. But through several meetings and exposure, they realized that there are two different concepts. So they have a whole desk on agroecology with support of ECOWAS. So that's an area that we are very much excited about. And then we are also trying to link farmers to access more markets, including the continental markets. Opportunities that we have that we feel that we can still influence, issues on food sovereignty. And the question we ask ourselves is, if as a country we are still relying on imports from Russia for fertilizer, or in Ukraine, we are relying on wheat, and then there's a major catastrophe that these countries are not providing, what happens to us? So we should use that as an opportunity to develop our own systems. So that's an angle that we are trying to push. We are looking for more public and private partnerships to ensure that farmers are also able to make income out of the work they do. So these are the matches that we did for. So the first one here is the match against the Plant Breeders Bill and the GMOs that we embarked on. We did it with CCOD and ActionAid. This is the match we had purposely for agroecology. We also had one also against the GMOs and Plant Breeders Bill. This is us meeting the Parliamentary Select Committee on Food and Agri to explain our position on a Plant Breeders Bill and why we feel that they should consider our concerns before they pass that particular bill. This is the demonstration farm we have in Techiman. So if you look beneath it, these are practical training ongoing at the farm. Here you could see us engaging our members. Next. Yeah, so these are still highlights of the farm. So this is the snail farm that you find on the agroecological land. Next one. So these are still pictures of some of the campaigns that we did. Next. Yeah, this is when we provided a source of water for our farm at Techiman, because we needed to have a constant supply of water for you to be able to have a sustainable farm. So this is when we got the water drilled, and the farmers were clearly excited about it. Next one. And this is a meeting we had with Toby. Yeah, so before we had a research project on building scholars, we had a planning meeting. And this is our former executive director. Some of you know her very well, Madam Vic, quite powerful lady. And this is Charles. He is the current executive director. And this is a very familiar face. And then so I spoke about the meeting we had recently. We went to Dr. Kofi Boy's farm. For those who know the farm at Nkawie, we partnered with MOFA to train farmers and extension agents, because we realized that apart from the farmers, we also need to instill knowledge in extension officers, because for them, they are moved by the project that sponsors them. If they have a project that is sponsoring them on chemical fertilizer, that's what they preach to the farmer. So we also fertilizers also take them and also instill in them agroecological knowledge, so that when they go back, they can also show that to their farmers. So it was both a mixture of theory and practical training. So this is the practical training, and then this the classroom training. I'm sure that's the end of my presentation. Thank you very much.